So Hebrews 10 is explaining the refreshing of the covenant. And the refreshing of the covenant is the glad tidings of good things, which you see that in Isaiah 52 and Isaiah 40 and Luke 4 and Isaiah 61, that the glad tidings is the true gospel that is only going to be preached by the servants of God in the end of the world, because the whole world is deceived in the end of the world, apart from the very elect. Right? So Hebrews 10, he's explaining the refreshing. And then he basically goes on to say, so how much sorer is your punishment going to be, who continue to tread underfoot the Son of God, count the blood of the covenant wherewith you are sanctified, and do despite of the Spirit of grace, which is exactly what the church is doing. You know, they say, oh, Jesus paid it all, so we don't have to obey God. We're saved by unmerited favor. We don't have to obey God for salvation. You know, like they think that the Ten Commandments is done now. Well, that's a perfect fulfillment of those two verses in Hebrews 10. And he says, how much sorer is your punishment going to be than those who were under the sacrificial law, right? Because the Messiah's refreshed the covenant now, so if you continue in the same sin, your punishment's going to be even worse than the sacrificial law, right? And then the next verse, he quotes Deuteronomy 32, and he says, but we know him who saith, vengeance belongs to me, which is from Deuteronomy 32, which is the new song of Moses, which Revelation 14 says only the new song, oh my goodness, only the 144,000 can learn that song. But when you read Deuteronomy 32, it's all about, in the end of the world, the whole church being deceived, and Mystery Babylon, which is America, pushing this apostate religion to the four corners of the world and making everyone take part in their child sacrifice pagan sex rituals, which is Christmas and Easter. And the reason why they do this wicked sin is because they don't understand the refreshing. They don't understand that the Messiah was sent to end the sacrificial law, but to teach us to keep the Ten Commandments. And so because they don't keep the Ten Commandments, they don't receive the Spirit of truth, so they receive the Antichrist spirit of error, which gives them up to that strong delusion, which is why the whole church is apostate. So, in a nutshell, if you don't know Deuteronomy 32, if you don't know exactly what that's saying, then you have been deceived by the church. Because every single Christian church in the world should be teaching Deuteronomy 32 every week. And the fact that they're not says everything you need to know about the state of the church in the end of the world.